Which is why I always tell people, oh, stickers. Stickers! I always tell people, follow us on twitch.tv/pluralsight live. We're always streaming there all the time. And then sometimes we stream to Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and other places, and sometimes it doesn't work. Oh, and sometimes Twitter. And sometimes it just doesn't work on some of these platforms. So that's why I try to point people towards Twitch, because Twitch always works. We always have a direct line there, and it works out great. So I'm going to close this window here. So it looks like I'm still rolling pretty much everywhere else. So that works. So if this is your first time coming onto the stream, then you don't know very much about this application that we're working on. So this is a Blazor app. It's What's My IP is how it started out. I'll push play, but I don't actually know if it's going to run. I don't remember where we were even at here. But I do have a running application on Azure right now for it. And here's our screen. Do I have a breakpoint? I do have a breakpoint. Here's our friendly web portal, which is not working right now. However, if we go to friendly web portal, azurewebsites.net, you can see what this is supposed to be. As soon as it loads up, I've published this to Azure. And it looks like this one's still broken. So what it is something that gets an IP address. And we've been working on this for a couple months. It gets your IP address. It then runs it against a Geo MaxMind IP database that turns that IP address into a location. Then we take that location, we find the nearest airport near you, the weather info for that airport, and then we draw a Google map. And this has not worked really well this last week, because originally I started doing the IP address and I did it with a JavaScript call. Worked great on my local machine. For some reason, on my local machine, it would show my external IP. However, once I published it to Azure, it shows the IP address of the server that it's on in Azure, which is not great. It's not optimal. So that's where we're at today, is we are going to try to figure out here what's going on with this thing. Now, I did have a suggestion on Twitter, I believe. Let me just check this here really quick. Pop open Microsoft Edge. Oh, you can see I was trying to make the window smaller there. Okay. I'm going to jump into my Twitter mentions and see if I can find this. And I better mute that tab. All the way down here. All the way down here. And by the way, oh, and here's a new one that I haven't seen yet. I put together a quick REPL to show this off. So I'm going to bring up this tweet. I didn't even see this. I'm not sure why I didn't see this reply, but if someone's going to put together a REPL. What the heck? It says I put a quick REPL to show this off. how can you get the client IP address in Blazor? This is demonstrated as shown. This could be something really simple, and then we'll have to find something else to do for the rest of the stream. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, your client IP code, IP here, Telerik loader, string IP. Oh, unfortunately, that is exactly how I did it before. So I will have to reply to that, but I am not, this is exactly how I did it before, but I'm not able to grab this value. So that's where we're going to have to let's see. Actually, the way this is being done right here, actually I could grab that value before I display it. So before I say that this isn't the solution, this could actually be the solution by modifying my old solution. Let me think about this for a minute. Core components, web, Blazor app. Context, we're going in here and to index razor, your IP address is blank IP address. I believe we're doing uninitialized async here. We're not awaiting anything, so it runs synchronously. Blazor app context, current user IP. Let's go back to where we were last week. I actually haven't been able to get on this and do anything meaningful with it, so we're literally picking up right where we left off. I am going to keep this open. However, because maybe we'll jump back to something like that. Okay, now we should be at our breakpoint. So let's kind of keep this a little over here. Okay, we are at our breakpoint. And one of the things that I tried to do to make this almost like a read-only is I made it so if the current IP is null, we'll set the value. Otherwise, we don't set the value at all. This has worked for me in the past, where like right now, the current user IP is null. So now we're going to say current IP is : 1. But then on the re-render, we look in here, we're still just kind of stepping through. We have the IP address, so we can get the city from the IP address. That's all fine and good. And then IP address null, Blazor app context, user IP. Go through, and it's null. It's once again, this current user IP, even though I set it as read-only, is null. Very interesting. I wonder if I can find where it was initialized. But yeah, I don't know why it's nulling it out, but it is nulling out this value, and it's very frustrating to say the least. So it is right in here. And I could make it read only. I could figure out where this is being called. And this is not a static class, so program, Blazor app context. This is where it should be. Add scope. I don't remember what happens if we scope both of these. If I remember right, we don't need to. But we'll continue. Continue. Now it erases everything again. Just highly frustrating. So yeah, that wasn't the answer that we were looking for. Scoped maybe singleton. Let me try that really quick, because that's all it needs to be is a singleton. Hello world. How's the weather today? We'll find out when we get this working again. Funny guy. So continue. Oh, hey, would you look at that? By changing it to a singleton, we got rid of that problem. That's all I wanted it to do, is behave like a singleton, not be so transient. So hey, we might be getting somewhere here. Now I think I can push this up to Azure, and maybe it'll work. It's doing that ::1 because I'm connecting in through IPv6. I'm sure I can change that somewhere. I should change that somewhere, but let's publish this thing to Azure and see. See what it does when it's on the Azure site. Then we can find some other cool, fun stuff to do. And doing my quick tech check. Oh yeah, good deal. I'm on all over the place here. All right. And I just closed my chat window for some reason. There we go. Ta-da! Holy moly, we are working again. That is incredible. So, the nearest airport's not working, which is fine. We'll address that here in a minute. But I am getting the IP address here of me, myself, not the server. And it's doing a town lookup, and it's looking it up and saying, hey, you're in Hillsboro in the United States. Now we need to do the nearest airport thing, but at least this is a pretty big accomplishment. And I'll post this URL in the chat in case anyone else wants to try it out. URL of application. Now let's figure out that airport thing. We're going to have to test the IP thing quite a bit more in the future. But here at Index, we need to grab this IP address again. So when we do get my IP, IP address equals, that means we should be able to, let's see, this is all get my IP. Yeah. So we should be able to start up the next ones, which are get airports, things like that. So if IP address is null, get my city, and oh wait, get nearby airports. So get my city, get nearby airports. And I'm going to look up and see how to disable IPv6 in Visual Studio. I can't see anything. Maybe I'll just look in the properties here. Just see if there's an IPv6. I don't see one. All right, we'll deal with it. We'll debug it on Azure, I guess. Or I can hard code an IP address in there for now, so that we can test the other parts of it. Let's see here. So we go here. Let's move that breakpoint. Continue. Nearest airport, exception thrown. Why was the exception thrown? Yeah, let's get nearby airports. Get my city, IP. Let's step into it really quick and see what's going on there. It's probably because of that IPv6 address. So we're doing HTTP client, we're doing the test, getting our bearer token, etc. Invalid query parameter even. Yeah, I think I hard code it. I'll be able to get around this. So we'll go up to the top, and we're just going to hard code an IP address for our testing purposes. Should be able to get nearby airports. There we go. IP address. Yeah, who knows? Getting the IP has actually been pretty tricky. I'm gonna write an article about it. But the way I'm getting the IP right now, and this code will be public. I'm gonna put it up on GitHub here pretty soon. But what we do is we have an app context here of current user IP. And one of the things I had to do with this is only set it if it's null, kind of making it read-only without being truly read-only. And then we go here to Program CS, add in that singleton, and then in our where is it? Host HTML. In here, I'm taking the Blazor app context user IP and just setting it to the HTTP context remote address to string. So the way I was doing it before was I was just sending out a JavaScript call to an API, and it would pop it back. And what it was doing is it was sending it from the Azure app, and so the IP was coming back as the server that the Azure web app is stored on. So this is how I got around it so far. I'm not really sure how great it works, but there will be some pretty a lot more extensive testing in the near future. I'm probably not going to do a ton of work on this for a week or so because I'll be at AWS reInvent next week. So on the same channel, you will see myself and Matthias Anderson talking to people at AWS, talking about AWS reInvent, talking about all that fun stuff. So I'm going to start putting in like this nearest airport code, which should be assigned possible null reference. Might as well put it in there. We're going to pop off a request to that. Unhandled exception. Index outside the bounds of the array. So I don't know what that means, or where that's coming from, I should say. Get meter data string airport. Let's step into it. Why not? Let's figure out what I'm doing wrong today. Shall we? All right, nearest airport code is ICT. So this IP address that I'm using, I don't remember where I got it from. Get nearby airports. It's ICT. So we jump in here. Yeah, it's not null. Yeah, we're still going to jump in here. Let's step into this method and see what we got here. So we have our string airport ICT. Get content null. The API key. Send a message. Results are 0. So we deserialize that into our meter string, which is just string 0. If it's not null, then we start to decode this meter, right? But the results are, as you can see here, string 0. So I'm going to have to say and our meter string is not, let's see. Actually, I need to do that again. I gotta grab that exact text. So we're gonna jump through. Ta-da! Our string. JSON visualizer. So results 0. Results. Or was that actually data? Here's a good way to do it. Because that string, I believe, was empty. Yeah, data was just an empty string, so continue. So hopefully it won't try to do any of that parsing or any of that stuff. What do we have on the screen? Oh. Interesting. Should not be outside the bounds of the array. That could be it. Oh. Was it is null or empty? If it's a string. Maybe it's just our metar string, but okay, we need to examine this a little bit. Metar to string. We do a length on it. Data. Since it is a string array, maybe we can see if we can go longer than 0. Okay, I'm going to take this breakpoint out. Now, our metar string is now this WX result of nothing. So now let's pop over here, and it works. So if it's not null and the length is greater than 0, then we'll do this stuff. Our metar is also not created, it looks like. So let's continue. Jump right in here, and now we're right back to where we started from. Cool. Let's push it to Azure really quick. Remember all the things we were supposed to get. Get my city. I think we're doing that. Yeah, we're doing get my city. We're doing get near. Now we're doing get METAR data. And then we can do these as well. Let's see how well this works. I think this will break on my local machine. Yes. But it should work on the Azure portal. So let's publish it. I always forget where to publish. I'm still getting over being sick, so I'm a little out of it this morning. Let's see. Let's see if it works when it's published. If not, we'll pull out that list stuff. Oh, cool. It does look like YouTube is working, so that's pretty awesome. And we'll just let this thing build and build and build. Should open up a browser here in a minute. Oh. I guess I didn't really publish it, did I? Publish. One succeeded. Let's see if it crashes immediately upon opening. Wouldn't that be a surprise? Oh, it is a surprise. Okay, we're not going to put it into development mode because I already know what crashed it. It's this stuff here. We need to figure out how to do that. So I'll push play. Right on. Let's publish it. And we're just going to check that first bit of functionality. We're going to have this thing almost wrapped up, it seems like, as far as functions go that we want it to do. So anybody that's watching, either live now or later, if you find out, and we're still using that hard-coded IP, oops. So if you find some ideas, something cool that we can add to this thing, let's do it. Let's add something cool to it. I also have another application idea that I want to try out to do practice tests for certifications, stuff like that. Build like a practice test, a very, very simple practice test engine. Might even put a timer in there and everything. But I think that's my next idea. All right. So far, everything looks super. What's my IP? Your IP address is this. You're located in Hillsboro, Oregon. That's correct. Nearest airport, Portland International. Not exactly, but it's the nearest one in that database. I mean, you can actually see Hillsboro Airport right there. And then the airport code for PDX. So let's grab the METAR data from that airport code. Here we have nearest airport code. Get METAR data. Now we need to figure out, because I have forgotten. how we do that. Our METAR equals our parser, our METAR. Now, if I remember correctly, I need to create a parser, which I'm doing somewhere in here. Right? Get METAR data, yeah. It's our string. Let's just go through this code really quick. We're going through, we're doing a check WX, METAR, API key, we're sending it, reading it as a string, METAR text equals our string, which is fine. METAR string, we deserialize the result if it's that and the length is good. Let's decode the METAR. Where do we start our parser? That's a good question. Got it up here. Oh yeah, new METAR parser. So this should work. I'm trying to remember why we do this, but one thing we're going to do is go over to our weather razor. This is the one that we were using before. And we'll just pull something out of here. METAR airport code. I guess we could pull all of this stuff in here. But let's just pull temperature C just to see temperature C to see if we're getting that METAR data. Oh, which I already am doing temperature F here if our METAR is not null, which it should not be. So let's comment out this cloud cover thing and let's publish that to Azure. I do not like how it redraws. I'm not sure why it redraws like that. But we are not getting METAR data. I can tell because we'll hard code this again. We'll step in and see what's going on. Okay, so nearest airport code is ICT. Actually, let's use my IP address from the previous Azure portal sites, or I should say the current, and let's hard code that in since we know what that should give us. All right, nearest airport code should be PDX. It is. So we'll step in. We're going to get the METAR data for PDX. Our METAR now should be our parser, our METAR, which appears to be null. Yeah, our parser is null. Our METAR is null. This, we have all this info. But our METAR and our parser are null. So let's figure out what's going on there. Did we actually start up a parser? That's right. We start it in the very beginning. And we're not going to do that. We're going to do that and get METAR data. Our parser equals new METAR parser. Let's see what this does. Let's see if this changes anything. Probably not, but nope, still null. Okay. Go in here, step forward, await get METAR data, nearest airport code. Yes, we want to jump in here. Our parser, new METAR parser. So no longer null, but doesn't have any info. Then we're going to check WX. We're going to do all the check WX things. I wonder if I have an invalid API key or something. Because that's result of 0 again. And it should not be a result of 0. So, time to check out Postman. I'm going to do this off screen so you don't see my API key details. However, I'm going to use some get METAR data stuff. If I can find the original key here. Portal stream, get our ports. Well, we'll just do this real quick. Check WX. METAR. KPDX. Missing XAPI key. Not a big deal. I'll open that up. Yeah, 'cause what I think is happening here is I think we're having some issues with this API. Not returning anything. Which is fine, because we will figure that out. Friendly portal. There we go. Web. This one's check WX, right? Secret. Oh, that's right. I was trying to get something out of the Azure Key Vault. And when we do this, we need to add XAPI key. There's a parameter. Okay. That's interesting. It is not working there either. Maybe PDX. Missing API key. It's being passed as a header. KPDX. That could be it. I'm not passing it in the header properly. There we go. Okay. Same problem. 0 results when I go to check WX. So there's a METAR for that one. Maybe the K has to be there. Yes, the K has to be there. Let's make sure the K is being sent. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's saying PDX instead of KPDX. Friendly Portal Web. Yeah, so nearest airport code, PDX. Uh-huh. How about we do this? If nearest airport code length is 3, then we're just going to say nearest airport code equals K for the United States nearest airport code. To do, find a solution for international, because this will totally break the international stuff, most likely. Now we should be getting a METAR. Let's try it. Go bopping through here, and look at that. We do. Portland International, we even get a temperature, which tells us that we're getting that METAR data that we're looking for in the first place. So let's do a couple things here for just kind of make it look prettier. Actually, I'm gonna rip a lot of this stuff out. I've got way too much commented code going on right now. I believe that was our original. Okay, METAR equals our parser METAR. I think this all should work. Let's go up here really quick. You're located in city state. Let's make that strong. And again, I want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in to watch this. Next week, we're not going to have an All Hands on Tech live. Neither David or I will be doing our live stream next week because we will be hanging out in Vegas at reInvent. But you might see us on Twitch still for the reInvent stream. You'll see me for sure, maybe David. I'm going to try to get him on there, but We'll see. You're located in Hillsboro, Oregon, United States, Portland International, KPDX, temperature 41 degrees. That all seems correct to me. Let's make the country strong also. Nearest airport. Strong. Airport code. Strong. And temperature. We'll make it strong. This will just make the values pop out a little bit more. Ta-da. Now, I would like to examine this API a little bit to see, you know, maybe it's just major airports. I don't know. And I still want to do the METAR lookup. This one, I don't remember where we stopped on that one. I don't even remember. That's going to have to be for another stream, I think. So, message. We want to go back to getting an actual IP address. We fixed our problem with the METAR in that we need to add a K if there's no K on it because that other API responds back with PDX instead of KPDX. But that's not great. What was I looking for next? I don't even remember. We're going to publish this really quick. So we're going to make it use the real IP address. Publish it. And again, I put the URL in the chat if you would like to come check this out for yourself. Looks like it redraws a couple times. Still, it's a little annoying, but to sum it up, okay, a couple of streams ago, we had an issue with the IP address where the IP address was coming from the server on the Azure web app instead of a client. So what this is doing is this is taking it out from the actual context, HTTP context of the Blazor application instead of relying on that JavaScript outside API thing. Now it says your IP address is blank. You're located in Hillsboro, Oregon, United States. This is the MaxMind GeoIP database information. Then we're calling another API and saying, hey, what's the nearest airport? And it says Portland International is your nearest airport. KPDX. Not exactly true, but said we'll look at the granularity in that in a minute. And then we're saying temperature F because we're going out and grabbing METAR data. And yeah. So far this thing has been a really intense Razor component. If you look at this is one of the biggest Razor components I've built in a while at 195 lines of code. That is a pretty big Razor component that could be broken up, certainly could be broken up into smaller chunks, which I think could be a good idea. However, one thing I want to do here is I'm doing that, let's see, that's the METAR lookup. Get nearest airport. Get nearby airports is this Amadeus one. I'm going to jump in there really quick. Amadeus.com. Accept cookies, continue, log in. If I remember my login here, I think I have it logged in. Logged in the customer area. I'm going to jump into developers. So I'm logged into the wrong profile, possibly. There we go. And I'm going to show the bookmarks. API key. Nearest airport relevant. Now I'll sign in because I'm going to do some test stuff with this. I'm going to see if I can get smaller airports or something, or if this is just, this is what we got. If this is what we got, then maybe we'll find a different service to look at. All right. Let's drag this over here. Airports, latitude, longitude, radius, maximum page, and sort. I should use distance instead of relevance. That does make sense. Let's see what other kinds of just geocode, flights, travelers, there's all kinds of stuff going on here. So, and it looks like I'm actually out of time already, but yeah, maybe I'll do distance instead of relevance. Let me take a quick peek at that. So we're doing the bearer. Specific, latitude, longitude, limit, offset, sort, relevance. Instead of relevance, let's do distance and see if that shows something different. Publish, publish. And then I think we gotta head out of here and head into our Thanksgiving, and then reInvent immediately afterwards. So this channel is going to be taken over by us doing reInvent stuff. So if you're an AWS person, it could be pretty interesting. It's still showing Portland International, which is fine. But look at that. We have a beautiful, friendly portal app once again. Got it fixed. It's actually showing a good IP address. Anyone wants to check it out, I put the URL there in the chat. But I am going to head on out of here. Like I said, I'm going to head out and get ready to do some fun stuff. Thanksgiving, AWS reInvent, that kind of fun stuff. And just do my, let's see, follow us on Twitch. We're always on Twitch all the time. We're sometimes on YouTube, we're sometimes on Twitter, we're sometimes all over the place, but we're always on Twitch. So be sure to follow us on Twitch. Check us out in the Discord right there. Is that correct? Discord.gg/pluralsight is a Discord where we talk about stuff. We talk about Cloud Happy, which is something that's going on right now. I'll drop the link to Cloud Happy in there where you can do a free certification training. And just to kind of show that these things are are cool and worthy. Last week I got my AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. And so I took the course. It was with Keisha Williams. It was really cool. It's a free course that you can take too. And then last Friday, I took the test and got the AWS certification, my first AWS certification, which is really cool. And I'm going to do the AZ900 Azure one next. So yeah, it's really cool. Let me grab the link. And drop it into the chat so you can also learn for free, get this certification. So awesome. There it is. Pluralsight Cloud Happy is awesome. If you want stickers, I'll send you stickers. I've sent quite a few of you stickers out there. Just send me a DM on Twitch, and I'll send you these cool stickers in a sticker pack that you can put on your laptop or whatever, and it's just awesome stuff. Very fun, cool stickers. So thank you everybody for coming to the stream today. We'll see you next week at AWS reInvent, not here in my office, but we'll see you at AWS reInvent next week. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. And I hope you all will join us. Thank you very much. And we'll keep doing this Blazor stuff. Next time, we're probably just going to add a little bit more weather info in here. We're going to do the METAR lookup. And then we're going to find something new to do on this thing or start a new project. I don't know. But thank you, everybody who's been hanging out and going along with this, because it's been really helpful. I've got a lot of suggestions. I've had a lot of questions. I've had a lot of corrections happen during these streams last couple months, and I love it. This is one of the most fun parts of my job by far. So thank you all for making that possible. All right. Happy holidays, and we'll see you soon.